Failure. It's a word that can make our hearts race and our stomachs churn. It's a universal experience, one that we all encounter at some point in our lives. Whether it's a failed exam, a job rejection, or a personal setback, failure can leave us feeling defeated, discouraged, and unsure of ourselves. The sting of failure can be sharp and immediate. We might feel a wave of disappointment, frustration, or even shame wash over us. Our minds might race with thoughts of what we could have done differently, questioning our abilities and our worth. But failure, despite its unpleasant nature, is not an end. It is simply a bend in the road, a detour on our journey toward success. Instead of viewing failure as a full stop, we can choose to see it as a comma, a pause that allows us to reflect, reassess, and re-strategize. In the following sections, we will explore the multifaceted nature of failure, delving into the science, psychology, and spirituality of setbacks. Our brains are wired to avoid pain and seek pleasure. So when we experience failure, our brains interpret it as a threat, triggering a cascade of physiological and emotional responses. When we face a setback, our amygdala, the brain's emotional center, sounds the alarm. This triggers the release of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, preparing our bodies for a fight-or-flight response. This response, while helpful in life-threatening situations, can be counterproductive when it comes to navigating everyday challenges. The surge of stress hormones can cloud our judgment, making it difficult to think clearly and rationally. However, our brains also possess an incredible capacity for learning and adaptation. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change and rewire itself, means that we can train our brains to respond to failure in a more constructive way. In psychology, there's a growing understanding that our relationship with failure plays a pivotal role in our overall well-being and success. Instead of viewing failure as a reflection of our inherent worth, we can choose to see it as an opportunity for growth and learning. This shift in perspective requires cultivating a growth mindset, a belief that our abilities are not fixed but rather can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. When we embrace a growth mindset, we view challenges as opportunities to stretch ourselves, learn new skills, and expand our horizons. Instead of fearing failure, we become curious about it. We ask ourselves, what can I learn from this experience? How can I use this setback to grow and improve? By reframing failure as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities. We become more resilient, more adaptable, and more likely to achieve our goals. Throughout history, spiritual and philosophical traditions have offered profound insights into the nature of failure and its role in our lives. From the resilience of the human spirit to the transformative power of adversity, these perspectives provide solace and guidance in navigating life's inevitable setbacks. Buddhism, for example, teaches that suffering is an inherent part of the human experience. Rather than trying to avoid failure, Buddhism encourages us to approach it with mindfulness and compassion, recognizing that it is an opportunity for growth and enlightenment. Similarly, the ancient philosophy of Stoicism emphasizes the importance of focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions, and accepting what we cannot. In the face of failure, Stoicism reminds us to maintain our inner peace and to focus on living in accordance with nature. These spiritual and philosophical perspectives remind us that failure is not an anomaly but rather a universal human experience. They encourage us to approach setbacks with grace, humility, and a willingness to learn and grow. Section 5. Learning from our mistakes, turning failure into a powerful teacher. Failure, while often painful, can be an invaluable teacher. It provides us with feedback, insights, and lessons that we can use to improve our skills, refine our strategies, and make more informed decisions in the future. When we approach failure with a curious and open mind, we can extract valuable lessons from our mistakes. We can ask ourselves, what went wrong? What could I have done differently? What did I learn from this experience? The key is to avoid dwelling on the negative emotions associated with failure and instead focus on the lessons we can glean from the experience. By reframing failure as an opportunity for learning and growth, we transform it from a setback into a stepping stone. Section 6. The stories we tell ourselves. Shifting from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. Our thoughts shape our reality. The The stories we tell ourselves about failure can either hold us back or propel us forward. When we adopt a fixed mindset, we believe that our abilities are static and unchanging. We view failure as a reflection of our inherent limitations, leading to feelings of inadequacy and a fear of taking risks. However, when we cultivate a growth mindset, we embrace challenges as opportunities for learning and growth. We see failure not as a sign of weakness, but as a natural part of the learning process. By shifting our inner dialogue from one of self-doubt to one of self-belief, we unlock our potential for growth and achievement. We become more resilient, more adaptable, and more likely to persevere in the face of adversity. Section 7. Famous Failures, Inspiring Tales of Resilience and Triumph. History is replete with stories of individuals who faced setbacks, rejections, and failures, only to rise above their challenges and achieve extraordinary things. These stories serve as powerful reminders that failure is not the antithesis of success, but rather a stepping stone on the path to greatness. Consider the story of J.K. Rowling, the author of the beloved Harry Potter series. Before achieving literary fame, Rowling faced a series of personal and professional setbacks, including divorce, single parenthood, and the rejection of her manuscript by numerous publishers. Or take the example of Thomas Edison, the prolific inventor who endured thousands of failed experiments before successfully developing the incandescent light bulb. When asked about his numerous setbacks, Edison famously remarked, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." These stories, and countless others like them, remind us that failure is not the end of the story. It is simply a plot twist, a detour that can ultimately lead us to a more fulfilling destination. Section 8. Practical Strategies for Overcoming Failure. Actionable Steps for Growth. While understanding the science, psychology, and spirituality of failure is essential, it's equally important to have practical strategies for navigating setbacks and turning them into opportunities for growth. Here are some actionable steps you can take to overcome failure. Acknowledge your feelings. Allow yourself to feel the disappointment, frustration, or sadness that comes with failure. Don't try to suppress or ignore your emotions. Analyze what happened. Once you've processed your emotions, take a step back and objectively analyze the situation. What went wrong? What could you have done differently? Identify the lessons. Every failure, no matter how small, offers valuable lessons. What did you learn from this experience? How can you use this knowledge to make better decisions in the future? Reframe your perspective. Instead of viewing failure as a personal defeat, reframe it as an opportunity for growth and learning. Embrace a growth mindset and believe in your ability to improve. Set realistic goals. Break down large goals into smaller, more manageable steps. Celebrate your progress along the way, and don't be afraid to adjust your course as needed. Seek support. Surround yourself with supportive friends, family, mentors, or coaches who believe in your abilities and can offer encouragement and guidance. Practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a close friend who is going through a difficult time. Remember, overcoming failure is a journey, not a destination. There will be ups and downs along the way, but with each setback, you have the opportunity to learn, grow, and emerge stronger and more resilient than before. Section 9. Conclusion. Embracing failure, unleashing potential. Failure, despite its often negative connotations, is an integral part of the human experience. It is through our setbacks, our mistakes, and our failures that we learn, grow, and discover our true potential. By embracing a growth mindset, cultivating resilience, and learning from our mistakes, we can transform failure from a feared enemy into a valuable ally. We can use our setbacks as stepping stones, propelling us toward greater success, fulfillment, and meaning in our lives. So, the next time you encounter failure, remember this. You are not defined by your setbacks. You are defined by how you choose to respond to them. Embrace the opportunity to learn, grow, and emerge stronger and wiser on the other side.